we respond to the moon differently, and obviously, like, in a similar fashion. Because when the moon is in a certain constellation, and that moon beam is beaming the constellation, that is a certain temperament, and that temperament beams back at us on the earth and the individuals, then we're gonna feel that fusion of energy, where the ram, after he does his charge, he has to kind of like then go back. Like, every creature needs rest, right? So if the ram kind of hits a brick wall, then the matrix is moving in many different ways based on how the elements move in different ways. And sometimes the ram can hit a brick wall. And within the moon being in the certain placement at the end of Aries, it's difficulty at the end of the beginning. So there's this like energetic struggle, and how the quote unquote metaphorical mouse tries to reach the end of the maze. The maze is the fucking whole different thing. It's a whole tribulation. And the moon is in such a way where the energy highlights that energy in the constellation of the solar system. It's highlighting that. It's recognizing that part of self in the cosmos, that there's a part where there's a big challenge, and we're responding to that differently, right? We're on our own different levels of growth and success. So that dynamic will always be there, where there's a big esoteric challenge, and it doesn't matter how rich you are or how poor you are, just the need to go forward energetically and move with people and the matrix. The dynamic of third deacon Aries is difficulty at the beginning, right? And I think my earth signs, since I'm like Sun Libra, Earth Aries, I think my earth sign, my unconscious earth, is in that gate, in the HD, in the human design spiel of it. So like my unconscious self, it's always with that more. It's like kind of highlighting, like I'm like kind of just like unconsciously just like, attuned towards, my body recognizes the bigger challenge, right? Earth and Aries. So as my body recognizes the bigger challenge, I'm just moving with that, and I'm upgrading with that. And my unconscious self, the earth sign, is just kind of like, it's with that, and it's upgrading around that in different ways. So where we could respond more correctly if we know what we're responding to based on the transits in the sky, the moon, cusping Aries and Taurus, and then the sun being in Aquarius, in something of like a sophisticated, rigid network complex of a computer system infrastructure, the Aquarius, right? The whole, like, this works in an advanced way of esoteric gods, and we're just catching up to that shit. So as the sun, as we're getting life force to see the complexity of the gods, Aquarius, and the moon is doing its own cycles and harvesting its own energies, and we could respond more easily, but that doesn't necessarily mean the whole challenge is going to go away. The challenge isn't going to go away, Like the people who are saying you could have all this, but they don't have it. It's like that's like some type of flag, right? It's like that means like there's a work that needs to be done, respectively. So within that work, after the physical life and the physical world, the spiritual life will always forever go on, right? So we don't necessarily have to worry about the physical stuff per se, because we're still going to be living on as a soul, immortally or eternally, perhaps in different ways. So as we're doing that, like, we could slow down in a unique spiritual way, and we could see the challenge as it is in this unique time age for what it is, and seeing how these astrological energies, how we could use them in teamwork, or we could just deny them and pretend that they don't work, and maybe behind the scenes, use them. And the song I'm working on, I'm cooking it up, and maybe in the backdrop people already heard it, but like that new song, it's gonna be sweet, I think. And yeah, moon in Aries, cusp Taurus, and then Taurus, moon in Taurus, it's gonna see like how far we've come within the maze, and maybe us get to kind of relax and to like feel into nighttime Venus, moon in Taurus. We could respond to nighttime Venus of just like You know, nothing is really good or bad. If you want to enjoy something, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. If you want to enjoy the club, go enjoy the club, you know? Taurus type of shit. But obviously, like, do it responsibly, perhaps, because if you don't do it responsibly, then the challenges of the transits, they check everybody. No one's exempt from that, you know? So happy moon in Aries cusp Taurus transit. And obviously, I'll be back with another one. And, yeah, and then, you know, when the moon hits Gemini, it's like we're going to be feeling like how, you know, the politics are going to be more kind of like more more amplified, pretty much more racy, you know. Like once moon's in Gemini, it's like, okay, here's the political drama shit again. You have the best life ever.